everybody. I am back with another Hip Kit Club unboxing, and this is for the month of October. I know I'm a little late this month, but we'll still get there. And just as a heads up, this is going to be my second to last Hip Kit Club for a little while because I'm just feeling ready to mix it up. I've been subscribing for about a year now, and I'm just ready to try some new things with my budget. So, without further ado, let's dive into this kit. I did get the extra cardstock this month, and remember there's always 2 sheets of cardstock. This lovely wine red color is called Juneberry. The blue is called Coastal. The pink is called Quartz, and they did switch some things out for me this month. So I've got Smoky, and this one is just the white, and this is a light craft. And then that one is called Blueberry. It didn't have a branding strip. And then the yellow is Beeswax. There was supposed to be an orange in there, but I got substituted with that smoky gray instead. And moving on to the main kit this month, there are lots of lovely chunky embellishments in here. And so we will take a peek at all of those first. This set is a Simple Stories chunky frame set, which I'm going to have fun playing with in my project for this video. So make sure you watch that at the end. There is some die-cut chipboard pieces, some ephemera packs, and then this lovely gold puffy word set, and of course an alphabet. I really like the font of that alphabet this month, so that'll be fun to work with. And then let's go ahead and get these papers organized, and I will show you what we've got. All right, I've broken the papers down into manufacturer. These first 2 papers are from Hip Kit Club themselves, and I like that blue and pink polka dot. It's really pretty. And then this next set of papers is from, or this single sheet of paper rather, is from Crate Paper. Next up we have 2 sheets from, I believe that is Amy Tangerine and the American Crafts Collection. And these are very autumnal colors, and I'm really enjoying the white and red I'm seeing in collections this fall. Now this next set of paper, starting with that lovely cozy home icon set, these are all from Simple Stories, and that's the Cozy Days collection. The American Crafts collection was Amy Tangerine Late Afternoon, and the Crate Paper collection was Fresh Bouquet. So we have these lovely autumnal colors with some floral and leafy patterns to them. And that is our kit for the month. So let's take a closer look at all of these embellishment pieces. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with these chunky frames on my project. So again, go ahead and stick with me for that. And here I like to open up the ephemera pack so you can see everything that's inside. Even though there's a graphic on the back that shows you, it's easier to see each piece in person. And a lot of these pieces were actually perforated so that they kind of were semi-mirror images of each other, and you could use them as is or you can tear them apart. And I haven't really played with much of the perforated embellishments before, so I'm trying to figure out how to go about using those. So next up we have the project, and remember I talked about those frames. I am actually starting my project with product this month, which I don't usually do. I usually start with photos and the story that I want to tell. So I started with these frames, and I'm trying to find a sheet of pattern paper to be the base for my layout, and there's lots of these papers that I actually like, and so I'm having a hard time deciding. And I go through and I just play until I settle on the kind of gingham yellow there, and then I measure out my frames, and then I go and decide which photos I want to use. This is totally not how I usually work, and so I scale my photos to fit into each frame, and I decide I wanted to tell the story about having chickens and how they help me recycle rotten apples from this old apple tree in my yard and turn something inedible into chicken eggs, which are now edible. So I'm going to keep this layout really simple, and I'm going to just use these 3 frames. And here's a little tip about how I use these frames, because it's hard to get everything to line up. First, I put a little glue dot in the corner of my frame to kind of help hold it in place. And then I put adhesive to the back of my photo, and while my frame is stuck in one corner, I can slide my photo under the frame so that it's all lined up, and then put more just kind of slip more adhesive dots under the corners of my frames to get everything down solid. And then I'm going to keep the rest of the embellishing on this project really, really simple. I am using this cut apart sheet of tags, and I set aside any of the tag colors that were too similar to the background. And I kept out tag colors that had a lot more contrast between them. So that would make each individual tag a little bit more individual and easier to see. And of course, I cut them down to size to fit in my section, but save those pieces because I'm going to show you how right here I use those pieces to give myself extra room for my journaling. And then I go ahead and punch some holes in these tags because I'm going to show you a little tip on using your branding strips to create your own ribbon-like elements for these tags. Now these kits don't come with ribbon or anything like that, and I could add something from my stash, but I really like to see how I can stretch these kits to really use like 95 to 100% of my layout products from these kits. So here I am, I cut the branding strip apart and I am just folding it in half. And in a moment, I'm gonna apply some glue into this half fold, and then I'm gonna give it a press down with a bone folder to make sure that glue is nice and adhered all the way through. And that is gonna give me a strong, solid, basically paper ribbon in order to use to embellish all of my tags. And there's that bone folder move. Now this can be a little bit messy if you put too much glue. It'll squish out, but if you just clean it up quickly with a baby wipe or a wet towel, you'll be fine. So I set that aside to dry and I'm moving on to my title. Now here's a tip if you haven't seen me do this before. I like to use a piece of washi tape to run across the top of any word embellishments that I'm using, and that keeps them all in place easily. Now because washi tape is a little bit see-through, it helps you line things up. And as I'm working on this, I decide that I don't like the flow of it all being one long phrase. So the nice thing about the washi tape is that you can cut apart the words into chunks that you appreciate, 2 words, 3 words, whatever is going to work for you. And because the washi tape is a little see-through, that helps you kind of visualize the placement there. And then I go ahead to move on to embellishing my tags with those little ribbons that I created. And I decided to staple them down to add a little more texture. And a couple small die cut embellishments to kind of fill in some of the white space. And with that, my layout is done. This is a super quick one, and I gave you a couple of small tips and tricks for your projects. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and I will see you next time. I really appreciate you watching. If you got something helpful out of this video, please do give it a like. That helps my channel. And if you want to catch my future videos, please subscribe.